Hi everyone, welcome back to the Elbis and Elbis World Class Podcast. I'm joined here with Elbis.
Alright, pal.
And well, I mean, bloody hell, these conspiracy theories, they're all the rage, aren't they? I mean, God, have you heard about bloody flat earth? What do you think about that?
Well, due to my deep understanding of Einsteinian physics, particularly the intertwined relationship between time, space, gravity and mass, I do lean towards a globe model. However, belief is the enemy of knowing, and one should never criticise someone for challenging a mainstream scientific dogma just because of their own personal circumstances go against it. That in itself is unscientific.
Well, my dad has seen the curvature.
Bollocks.
What's going on with Elvis? Elvis.
Well, everyone, welcome back to Season 2, Episode 2. Obviously, last week was the debut episode of the new season.
It was a massive reception to it.
Well, it's gone on a storm.
New followers, we've got everything.
Oh, it's absolutely gone off. Obviously, the reception to it, it's like, I think Elbis and Elbis got lost a little bit in album reviews, you know. Not sticking with the original format, you know, but we just spice things up. And, you know, you all bloody love that. But now it's time to get back to the original hardcore Elbis and Elbis stuff.
Yeah. Well, and we're controversial now, aren't we? Gloves are off and all that business. And we hope you enjoyed the opening segment there, where we've opened a discussion on flat Earth.
Well,
because we're not afraid to take it on.
No, we're not.
That's one thing people could not call Elbis and Elbis, and that is fearful.
Well, I mean, if someone said, "Oh God, you know, Elbis and Elbis, God, they shy away from controversial topics."
Yeah.
Well,
Not
anymore.
Season
Sorry
1,
about
perhaps.
that. Sorry,
Season
but
2,
we don't care. Gloves
not
are
so
off.
much.
Gloves are off.
Now
But,
we're going back to traditional features.
Yes,
again.
we are. Yes, we are. And I'm very highly. I'm excited.
Yeah,
I'm excited
yeah.
because I've had a lot of astral.
Well, shall we go to Dream or Vision and then we can talk about the
Well,
astral activities?
shall we? I don't
of
know.
the past
Shall
week?
we? Well, yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Don't you wonder sometimes if it's a dream or a vision? The jingle there, I mean, it gets better every week. It really does.
Yeah. We'll forgive Bowie and his gang for copyright striking us last week.
It was a copyright infringement last week.
It's
But
a compliment.
to me, it was the biggest compliment I've ever received.
Yeah.
Because they've recognised that Elbis and Elbis perform
Perfectly.
Dream or Vision
perform.
to a par.
Yeah,
I'd say.
to a par.
I'd say.
I was very well spoken.
And I think it gets better every week.
Yeah, and it's interesting. Season 1, there was no copyright strikes.
No, it wasn't.
And now,
obviously, that
we're
tells me
performing
the
it
singing
exactly the same.
wasn't good enough.
Exactly.
But now we're up to a par. I'd say.
We are up to a par.
But anyway, yeah, Dream or Vision. I mean, did you want to briefly explain if there is any new viewers watching, which there probably is,
if you
what
are
Dream
a
or
new
Vision is?
viewer or listener, I would recommend you go back and find out what Dream or Vision. But as a
That's
brief
true.
synopsis, let's just say, it's: do you ever wonder sometimes if you've had a dream, or indeed, as it may sometimes be, a vision?
Yeah, well spoken, Paul.
Yeah.
I think this week will be an interesting one because I have a disturbance in the astral force.
Oh, well, let me go first then.
Well.
Let me go first.
It's
I'll
up to
go
you.
first this week because I haven't actually got that much to talk about this week. Now, that's not to say that I haven't been astrally active, because nothing could be further from the truth. Because I have been indeed very astrally active, but I've had a problem because it's almost like it's fragmented. Now, I have several sleeps a day, as you know, and each time now I am visiting the realm. I'm having astral out-of-body experiences, and I'm going to the realm each time. But I'm having trouble piecing it together, whereas usually it flows like a story with me.
Sometimes a short astral trip is more meaningful than a long physical journey?
Obviously, time
I'd say.
is different when you're in the astral realm, and it could be months, whereas you're asleep for 10 minutes, and it could be months in the realm.
It really could.
However, I do have a snippet of what I've been up to in the astral realm this week, and for me, there is an overriding feeling of violence in the astral realm at the moment.
Wow.
There's trouble going on. There is trouble going on.
I agree.
I don't know if this is because we have, laid our cards on the table and we are at battle with the Dark Lord and Ralph Little.
I feel like almost we've put all defences down and we've gone full offence.
I think the Dark Lord has got some of his pals to have a go at me because I feel as if I'm being restricted somewhat. However, let me explain this to you. I was in a bungalow. A single
story
dwelling
in which people live.
Yes.
For the American
And
viewers.
it was like a cross between that and my old classroom when I was at school many years ago.
Alright.
And there was me and some of my astral pals sat around a table.
Oh,
Now
some of
these
the
were
astral community.
Yeah, the astral community. Yeah, that's right. Now, this community, as I'll explain to some new viewers, I don't know them in this realm, as in the physical realm.
Yes.
Through which I am addressing you right now.
Well, yeah.
But in the astral realm, they are my friends. I just don't know the names. I don't know who they are. So anyway, I was sat there and there was this bloke up a ladder doing a bit of decorating.
Alright.
And he was like, "Oh, Elbis, remember when you helped that kid last week?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, I do actually." Which was weird because it was like a memory that I haven't done in the astral
realm.
Yeah, but it was a memory. I was like, "Oh yeah, I remember." And what it was is someone was in astral trouble in the astral realm.
Look, I'd just like
to
to
use my powers to save them from some thugs.
Well, that's interesting
Astral
because
thugs.
do you remember when I had the
the
dream of the memory of the battle with Ralph Little?
Yeah,
It's very similar to that in a way.
Exactly.
So we've almost confirmed memories in the realm do exist.
Well, I don't think time moves linearly in the astral realm.
Okay.
And so it could be somewhat fragmented in itself.
Right. Okay.
But anyway, I remembered what it was on about. I was like, "Oh yeah," and he goes, "You do realise you was messing with so and so's mates." And I don't know what so and so means, but he said a name in the realm, and I was like, "Oh God." I didn't know it was
Maybe like
his
the
mates.
Astral Mafia or something. I
It
don't
was
know.
something like that. Honestly, this was heavy duty
Bloody hell.
poo I was in.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh God." And he goes, "Listen, I've protected your name so far, Elbis, but I'm not sure how long I can." I says, "All right, cheers, pal."
Yeah.
goodness,
Nice of him, innit? Really, yeah.
Anyway, so I went back and sat with the rest of the astral community around. Yeah, he was. Yeah, I went and sat with the astral community around the table.
Yeah.
And,
Was it a round table?
No, it wasn't. It was very, very oblong.
Oh, okay.
And anyway, the so and so, whatever his name was, comes charging in, and he bangs his fist on the table and goes, "Which one of you lot is Elbis?" Anyway, the astral community all looked around, wasn't going to say now, and I thought, "Do you know what? It is me." So I went, "It's me here."
Loyal community there.
It is a loyal community, yeah. And so he brings his thugs in, and they get me.
Jeez.
And I'm like, this isn't a case of they're going to beat me up. They're going to start cutting bits off me, torture me,
Oh my God.
I know. However, don't forget that I am very astrally aware that it was my astral body, and therefore they could cut my arm off and it wouldn't even hurt. And you know what? I've got such powers, I could just grow another one. So I wasn't that bothered. So I lured them into a position which I was satisfied with. Let's just say.
Don't bloody surprise
What
me.
I did is I used some of my powers and then escaped. And started running in this single-story dwelling down all these corridors, and there was loads of them, and I was running in and out and all this. And I went into a room, and in the room was Monkey. And I thought, there's Monkey,
Yeah.
And I goes, "Hey, Monkey, we've got to get out
What
of
in the
here.
blue hell was
Come on."
Monkey doing there? That's what I
Well, looked up, she was taking drugs. Now, that's not Monkey.
Oh my God.
And she said something to me.
And we should probably say, don't take drugs
yeah,
and that.
don't
Don't
take
make sure you don't, because God, it's bloody crap and that.
And it said something, and it was something that Monkey would never say. And I looked, and I could almost see in the eyes. I thought, that's not Monkey. This
Wow.
is some kind of a doppelganger.
Wow.
And I'm starting to think that now the Dark Lord and his minions have learned the power of impersonation.
Very
now, that's
interesting.
The end. That is the end of it. That is the end of it.
That's interesting, that.
It's kind of not the most exciting dream or vision, but I think there's so much going on. There's violence going on over there. Things are being fragmented. I'm not able to stitch something together, and that's worrying. And then there are now doppelgangers / impersonators.
Well, what you've just said to me there
on.
almost confirms that there has been a disturbance in the astral force in some ways. Because my dream or vision was very violent.
Oh, really?
And that is out of character. I don't usually have violent dream or visions.
No.
But this one was
dreams.
violent.
Yeah.
And stuff. Boring, I'd say. Well, bloody philosophical, I'd say.
Okay.
Anyway,
Go on,
I mean...
and keep it short.
Well, so...
Short as you can, please.
Obviously, last week I had my astral family.
Bloody hell, have you written an essay on it? Good God.
Well, I've got to take notes down. There's so much.
Yeah.
Anyway.
What does your courting companion think when you wake up and write an essay like that?
She's just like, oh, go
well,
on,
she
look
understands.
at that. You know.
Go on, anyway.
Anyway, this astral vision I had, or dream, included a daughter of mine.
Oh my God.
Not physically astral daughter.
An astral daughter.
Yeah,
well,
not-
last week you had an astral son. You've got an entire astral family.
Yeah, well,
over
I've got a new astral companion, it
there.
seems.
Oh, well, that's just
Well,
you. You've got the astral models
I
of
don't
alley
know,
cat.
I
You
don't
ditched the
know what's
Northern
going
Irish
on.
girl from
I don't
last
know,
week
well,
because you weren't looking after the kid
They was
properly,
all
and
weird
you
and
started off a new
They
family.
didn't
Go on.
like me. They
Go
want
on.
rock and roll.
Go on.
Anyway, so we went to this sunny place, and it was like my daughter was like, oh, we've got to go to America and that. I was like, oh, all right then.
Was there a lake
So-
there with all things?
Well,
Because
it
that's
was
the-
like America,
Yeah.
and it was like sunny, busy place. It was almost like LA. It reminded me of LA, but
Well, that's a
you've
dump.
seen it, you know. It's a dump.
That's
and
actually hell.
But
when
actually,
I go there in the
well,
realm,
this is
that
what I mean
hell.
because it was like everything
won't
was
go there.
busy and it was like good and that, but it almost had dark undertones. It was almost like there was something going on there.
But
Something
in
wasn't
Vegas,
quite
Vegas
right
is a
there.
bit like that.
Yeah, well, and it was like me daughter had to go because she was in a fashion show.
All right.
Well, we went across and obviously I
How
was
old
like,
was this daughter? Astrally,
I'd say about my astral daughter. She's been in she's about 14.
Oh, right.
So,
okay, yeah.
Anyway, this
I would
astral.
personally let my astral daughter go in a fashion show.
Well, you know, it meant a
Is this
lot to
some
her.
sleaze
That's
bags?
just how
Is
good of an
astral
astral father I
Go
am.
on.
Anyway, meant a lot to her, and that's so we went, and I was just like, well, I can't really be bothered with this bloody fashion show and that, so I'll just bloody. I was
don't blame
more
you,
looking
pal.
at sightseeing and that. And anyway,
Don't blame you.
I met this guy who was the organizer of the fashion show.
I hope you wanted an astral sleaze bag.
Well, you'll never bloody guess who it was.
Did I?
It was Jake Gyllenhaal.
I don't know who that is.
Donnie Darko.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was.
Well.
But he was old. He was like older, and he had like a beard and glasses on.
Yeah,
It was real weird.
yeah.
And anyway, I was like, oh, all right, pal. And he was like, oh, yeah, well, gotta, do this and that. I went, Anyway, I had a few ideas for this fashion show because I learned my daughter was doing like a 90s, like, sort of dance thing. All her dance was all about the 90s. And I was getting all these ideas in which, it was like, I was getting more enthusiastic about it. So, I took me and my wife and I was talking to this guy and I was like, look, I've got some ideas.
Yeah.
And I was saying that she should play the role of a psychopath and
In a fashion
recreate
show.
a scene from American Psycho with Christian Bale. Now, I was disappointed.
Terrible astral.
Disappointed.
You left your last son behind.
Well, I was
the
disappointed
reclining
with my
couch.
astral film knowledge there because American Psycho came out in 2000. So it would have no relevance to this 90s dance at all.
No, that's true.
So I was disappointed there, really. But I'm following this guy anyway. This organizer of the fashion show events.
Yeah.
I'm following
What's
him
this got to do
because
with mine anyway? You said there was astral trouble.
I'll get there.
Come on.
I followed him into this room and I was like, look, I've got some ideas. And this room, it had a real sinister look to it. It reminded me of Seven. Film 7, David
Good
Fincher.
Film. Good film.
Like, the way that's filmed, the way it's lit and everything. It's so dark and it really reminded me of that. That's what I thought, like a 90s, 2000s thriller sort of thing. And I'm following him. I'm saying, look, I've got these ideas. This kid is in deep panic at the moment.
Right.
He's in deep panic. He's going, and he kept saying, I'm an idiot. I should have known. What was I thinking?
Yeah.
What was I thinking? I should have known. I'm an idiot. I can't believe this. I'm an idiot. Over and over again.
Who is this kid?
Yeah, Jake Gyllenhaal.
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
I was going, what's wrong? What's wrong? What is it? What is it?
Yeah.
he walked into this room, right? So I followed him, and there was a bed
Alright.
with a man on it.
But
He was face up,
Alright.
and both his eyes were missing.
Oh my god. Didn't I have something like this?
His eyes were gone.
Hang on a minute.
His
I was
eyes were
astrally
caved out.
tortured.
His
I
eyes were
remember they
caved
was
out.
going to cut bits out of me.
It wasn't you.
Well,
But
yeah.
on the wall, now, I should have really said this first because this was from what I saw. I walked in this room, I looked at the wall, and on the wall, written in blood,
Yeah.
was I killed John, and the last name began with a B.
Wow.
The last name began with a B, and it was like a real weird last name. Right.
Wow, this is good.
A real
I like
weird
it.
last name.
Yeah,
a real
yeah,
weird
yeah,
last
yeah,
name.
yeah.
And I remember thinking, that
Bon
last
Jovi?
name's not common. That
Could
last
be
name's
Bon
not common.
Jovi?
No, it won't free barrel or whatever it is.
Yeah.
The last name won't common. But before I got a good chance to look at the last name,
Yeah.
this kid on the bed with no eyes
Yeah.
was like, got up. So I was spooked by him. I was like, whoa, what is going on here?
Yeah.
And anyway, he just like stood up. He was sort of tall, skinny. He had like white hair, short white hair, no eyes. It was mental.
Whoa.
So,
I'm loving this though.
and I'm thinking, what the hell's going on?
Now,
He
this
gets a
is
gun out.
perfect. Oh god. Yeah.
He starts shooting.
Blindly.
Blindly. Just blindly.
Yeah.
Because he's blind,
Unless he's got
obviously.
some kind of sixth sense.
And I'm like,
Should
you know,
I
what's going on here?
smell
I'm like,
perhaps?
I grabbed my wife straight away, like a good astral husband would.
Yeah.
Let's get out of here. I run out the door. There's police outside waiting. But they're shooting at me, thinking I'm the one who's causing all this shooting and that inside. I'm going, it's not me, it's him, it's him. They realise I don't see what's going on behind me, but all I can hear is a machine gun.
Oh, good god.
And a machine gun's firing, kills me and my wife.
So you actually died in the
I
gun?
died. And I laid, I was
And then what happened?
booked,
Was it like on a computer game?
Right.
It just starts again.
This is
in
what
real
happened.
life.
So, earlier in the vision, my daughter had made this comment
Oh my god.
about...
Go back to the start.
Hang on, it's only a
Come
little
on, wrap it up.
bit. It's like a...
There's an interesting
she'd made a
bit in
comment.
there I
She'd
wanna
made
discuss.
she'd made a comment about blood being vinegar.
Ah, okay.
Now, I was a lad in the middle of the street dying with like some blood
Lives
coming
in the
out.
middle of the street.
Yeah. And I started narrating my death. And it was like I was looking at myself from above, like
That's
a
interesting,
bird's
actually.
eye view,
Yeah.
and I was going. And that day, I lost all the vinegar. That's what I
Right.
said. That's what I
It
said.
might be like astral slang for
then it
blood. It's
ended.
vinegar. They might say, you know, like you get
Then
the
it
Cockney
ended.
gangster. Cockney
Well,
gangsters, and they go like,
colloquialism.
yeah, colloquialism.
Colloquialism.
Like the Cockney
it's some
gangster will go,
astral colloquialism.
They'll go like, oh,
That's
mate,
something.
gonna spill some claret tonight.
Yeah,
In
yeah,
the
well.
astral world, perhaps they say vinegar. So it's an interesting one, and there's a couple of interesting things there
Well,
I'd like to address.
straight away.
Oh God, it's still not going.
No.
okay.
One of the things I want to address straight away, obviously, is I killed John B.
Exactly. Now this is classic because is this a dream or a vision? We can
Well-
find out because if somebody does kill John B.
This is what I want to know. Now, I've been researching this all week. I've been trying to find stuff.
All right.
Now, the first thing I typed in was I killed John B. I wasn't sure on the last name. The first thing that popped up was I killed John Belushi, which was a headline
Yeah,
in
yeah,
1982 when John Belushi died.
Yeah.
His
The-
wife,
his
the
drug
woman
dealer.
who came out said the headline was I killed John Belushi. However, I looked into the case. He was drugged, basically.
Yeah, it was. He had a speedball.
So it
which
didn't
is
really make
half
sense to me.
heroin, half
It didn't
cocaine,
really anything that really didn't make sense to me. The 90s thing with the dance and stuff, and Jake Gyllenhaal being there for some reason.
Yeah.
God,
Maybe
I
he-
just-
Oh, no, don't matter.
I just it didn't make sense to me. That it didn't add up. So I didn't think it was John Belushi, but I knew his last name was not common and it was like Belushi. And then I saw John Beetle, which obviously came up with I killed John Lennon.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm
Matt
thinking.
Chapman did that.
Yeah,
apparently.
but
Yeah.
I looked at the most recent photo of Mark Chapman in jail, and he did have white hair, and he did resemble the guy with no eyes.
So you think he was communicating
But-
with him?
I'm not sure because he had no eyes.
Now,
and
that is interesting.
I don't think it was him, but he was similar. He looks similar to him now. And I mean, like I don't know what message that would come across. I mean, maybe I don't know if he
I would say
maybe
this
get
is
Mark
one-
David Chapman's getting astrally powerful.
This
I don't
is
know.
something. I don't think it needs to be solved today. it's something where you've made a note of it and you've documented it, obviously,
Exactly.
on World Class Podo. So it's something that we can make a note of, and let's see if this story develops.
Now, the doppelganger aspect, you said
Yeah,
about Monkey.
yeah,
Now,
yeah.
I had a vision
All right.
the next night,
Yeah.
which you were involved.
Well, now that is interesting.
Now, as you know, we always say Elbis and Elbis never encounter each other in the astral realm.
No.
Now,
No.
I was sat in your astral house, let's just say,
Okay.
and I was sat like on a seat, across the table from you, and I was telling you about this vision or dream I've had. And you were saying, well, I don't think you should be talking about this. I don't think you should be airing it on the poddy.
This is like visions within visions.
No, straight away I thought, hang on a minute. This isn't right. You wouldn't be saying this. And you said something, and I thought, it's not you.
So the Dark Lord has started
I think is I've discovered something in the astral realm that I shouldn't have discovered.
Yeah.
I don't think I should have discovered this. I was enthusiastic about sightseeing. That's what I should have been doing.
Yeah.
Now I've got involved with this dance show, and I found this guy.
did the
I
right
killed
thing.
John B.
You
I
did
think
the
I've
right thing.
seen something I shouldn't have done.
Yeah.
And this
Yeah.
vision I've had of you, this doppelganger, is trying to stop me
Well, you did
from
the
airing
right
this
thing
today.
by asking me a question. I did the same to Monkey when I saw her. Now, I've always said, Annie, that the eyes are the most deceptive sense of all.
Well,
And we should
you
bear
have
that in
said
mind
You
when in
have
the
said
astral
that.
realm.
You have always said
Seeing
that.
is not believing in the astral realm. Now, that was a really interesting dream.
It was.
And there's
yeah.
a lot of good points there, which we could expand on in future episodes.
Yeah.
So we've got things to be aware of. Doppelgangers,
Yeah.
fragmentation,
Astral
of
violence.
memories, astral violence
At the
going on.
moment.
I hope that next week we come back with a nice astral story. You've got
Yeah, I
astral
do, yeah.
family going on.
Well, I mean,
Which your
with
courting
I Killed John B,
companion
look,
is aware of,
I've
so don't worry.
researched all week about I Killed John B. I just can't seem to find any links. But if you're listening now,
And you know what that means.
if you know what it means,
email
if you
us
think you've got a chance of
Elbis and Elbis,
figuring this
World Class
astral
email
puzzle out,
at
Elbis and Elbis,
Gmail.
worldclassemail@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Send me what you think. Send me what you think that meant, because I'd love to know. I really would. But for me, that's
It's a
my dream or
cliffhanger.
vision done.
This is a cliffhanger.
That's my dream or vision done.
All right, let's do the theme tune.
Well, there you go. Don't you wonder sometimes if it's a dream or a vision? Well, everyone, that was Dream or Vision, and a very interesting one. Some very interesting points there.
It was an
But
interesting one.
now it's time for the fan favourites.
It is and Joe,
FOTW Film of the Week.
there's been a lot of talk about our new jingles.
Yeah, there has. I've heard some.
It's been a
quality
mixed.
reviews.
It's been a mixed bag, but all positive.
Yeah.
The mixed bag has been some people saying, "Oh
Yeah,
God,
God.
I like your main
Yeah,
jingle the
yeah.
best." Other people are saying they enjoy Film of the Week.
Well, what do you prefer? Comment down below. What jingle's best?
Or send us an email.
Or send us an email, or I'd just say both of them are world class.
Yeah, I would. So we're ready for.
Well, I think we are. Play that jingle.
It's the Elbis and Elbis Film of the Week.
Well, everyone, it's time to dig into some films for Film of the Week.
Yeah.
Well, Elbis, it's up to you. I always leave it to you. Who do you want to go for?
I'll probably go first because,
What film have you been watching?
well, as I am prone to do for fans of the show,
Yep.
I haven't really watched that. Well, I haven't watched any films this week, nor have I watched any series, but I do have, and it's not philosophical
What?
discussion. No, I know.
Oh, God.
Listen, I've been having these astral things going
Film
on.
of the Week. Film
Yeah,
of the
I
Week.
know.
We
Well,
go here,
you
we
could
watch
call
a
it a
film,
film, because
just
this time-
make the effort for once in your life.
It's a
to
documentary,
Get some.
right? It's a documentary.
Oh well.
Okay, so it is a kind of a film, and it's on Netflix.
I mean, it's all fact
And
anyway.
it's called Operation Odessa. Now, you do say it's all fact and that, but actually we don't know what's fact and what's fiction sometimes.
Well, in a way.
You know.
Belief is the enemy of knowing.
Well, that's true. That is true. Yeah.
As you
spoken.
have said.
Well spoken, pal.
Thanks, Paul.
Now, Operation Odessa. Now, what it's about, right, is this Russian Okay, Russian guy.
All right.
Right, you know, he's a bloke. And he grew up in New York, and like he was like in the mafia and all
Oh,
that.
well, he ain't that Russian then.
Anyway, he moved down to Miami. Okay.
Ah.
And he opened an...
What was his name?
I don't know. He opened an establishment
Victor.
inside of which gentlemen can exchange currency with ladies for the removal of their clothes.
Wow.
Okay? Oh, a strip club. Let's go to a strip club.
Okay.
And he opened one of them. And anyway, he got mates with this bloke who was like he was a car dealer.
Was there any...
Well, we'll come into that. Let's just say. Now, anyway, he got mates with this bloke who was a car dealer. And he bought... What it was is people who went to Miami, they could hire like a real... like supercar or something.
like a quality car.
Anyway, they got into this little deal, like helping to ship cocaine and all this business. I was really involved in the cocaine business.
Don't do drugs.
Yeah, not recommended. But they loved it.
Yeah.
And then he went from doing like cars to speedboats and all this. And they started doing deals with the Colombians. Now what's his name? Bloody... Escobar. Yeah, doing deals with them, like helping get the cocaine across and all this. Now, I'm not going to go mental on, like, explaining the story.
Yeah, duh.
They met this other bloke who was a Cuban.
Oh, God.
But he was like, he had like 41 different identities. And he was wanted all over the world. And he'd be all over. And he was like proper, he was called Tony. You know, like Tony from Scarface. It was like
Montana.
He was like a real life Tony Montana. And he was...
It wouldn't surprise me if Scarface was based off him.
Wouldn't surprise me either. And yeah, so he was doing deals with the Colombians and that. And then because this other guy was Russian, it's about... They went to Russia and they got some like... They was doing deals with Russian gangsters, Colombian gangsters, and they was getting like... helicopters and sending them across.
Yeah.
And the main story is the fact that they was buying a submarine loaded with nuclear weapons and gonna broker the deal between them and the Colombians. And it's like, what I would describe it as, it's like a real life, you know, Grand Theft Auto, Vice City.
Yeah.
It's like that. And the way it's directed is like Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels. Really well done.
Well, I know, it's one of...
and it's difficult to describe a documentary without giving anything away. So I'm going to leave the descriptive elements there, I think. But what I was keen to do, you know, when I watched it, I thought, do you know what? I'd bloody love to take this and run it through the system.
Well,
just to see what happens.
We've got a supercomputer with
a
system
and
that
I have
is
pre-prepared a punch card.
Well,
right here.
send that punch card my
I'd
way,
love
pal.
to run it through. And as I say, we don't usually do documentaries, but this is just something I needed.
You know
to
what? Anyway, I was a little bit furious when you said you didn't have a film.
Well, I'm
but
not gonna
it's
go
a
on
fresh
that,
taste, and you know it's the first documentary I think we've ever done. So it's a groundbreaking day in a way.
It is, yeah.
Now I will insert the.
Well, there you go. Hang on, there's the pre-prepared punch card. Give you that. And well, insert it, but remember, don't type RUN because we're
hang on,
not ready yet. No, don't do it yet. So I'll start with my system.
What about this switch here? What about that?
Yeah, just to the left.
Right,
just to the left.
yeah.
No, right, sorry. Anyway, let me... There you go, you're all set. I'll run it through the system now. Now, the first bit of this. And do you remember what I said about the establishment where gentlemen visit?
Yeah, well, let's just say...
Let's just say there were some photographs of entities which had been enhanced in certain ways.
Wow.
The entity, not the photograph. And the thing is, I'm not here recommending that any entity gets enhancements. But I'm not going to slag those off that have had them. And there were some images which were
We accommodate
pleasing
everyone.
to thine eye. As such, I am going to score the first half of this. Shall we remind them what the actual system is?
Well,
it's
33, floating point.
Floating point. So, because of that, and it was quite entertaining as well.
It sounds good, this.
I'm going to go 31. Yeah.
This sounds good.
Now,
that's the highest beginning I think you've ever rated anything.
Yeah, I think so. Now, the beginning was entertaining, but the photographs of the enhanced entities had
entities in which were
diminished. So, But it was still entertaining, and I enjoyed it. And that's when we got introduced to Tony as well in the middle.
Oh, right.
And it was fascinating.
He sounds like a decent kid.
What it's about is they're getting all this trouble with the Russians, the Colombians, and all this, and they're still alive to tell the tale, which is why it's like Lock, Stock.
That's quite good then. Yeah.
And it's fascinating. It really is. So the middle, there weren't as many entities, but it was still really good. I'll give it 28. So obviously the entities at the beginning got 3 points.
Yeah.
So what are we on so far? That's like 60.
33 plus 28. No, you give it 31.
Yeah.
31.
So it's, 28. It's 59.
59.
Now the end.
Floating point.
There is a floating point, and do you know what? I think I'm going to bloody use it.
What?
Because the end, you was just like, wow. Now, how do
You're using the floating point? Listen,
I think
you can use the floating point, but I'm not sure it's supercomputer.
No. I know. It's only a 6-bit computer.
Listen.
But, it'll
Your electricity bill.
It'll be alright. We'll double run it. I think I am, because it was just so good. As I say, how they're still alive to tell the tale. It was all on it. And it's like everybody's dead. It's like Lock, Stock at the end, and you're like, oh wow, that's amazing. So I'm going to go with 34. Now we had 55, add 34,
no, it's 59.
59. Sorry, yeah, you're right now. 93, 93. Run it through the system.
Hi, Scott. I don't know.
R-U-N. It's R-U-N. R-U-N. Go. That's it. Return. Yeah. Go on.
I'm not sure about this.
Go on.
Brace yourselves.
Yeah. What's it got?
Wow.
100.
Wow.
Well, I told you.
That's the system.
Told you the system is a good system.
That is the system.
Oh, I mean, 100, I absolutely agree with that. Yeah, I
That's the
actually think
system.
I sold it short. I think in a way I was influenced by the entities at the beginning, whereas I should have just given it 100 really. It is brilliant, and I would highly recommend it to anybody out
That's
there.
the system.
That is a good system
It's
as well.
It's a good
That's
system.
accurate.
Good
Really
system.
accurate.
Very accurate. I mean, it does sound good, and I've got to say, I've watched documentaries, and they do seem to be quite good.
Some of them are.
Some of them are.
Some of
a
them
lot
are.
of them seem to be decent, especially
Yeah,
on
yeah.
Netflix.
I watched a documentary about chess once, which was fascinating.
We won't go into that.
I am a well-class chess player.
Anyway, my film of the week.
Oh, yeah, go on.
Well,
Keep it short, remember.
it's a film that I know you have put on your watch list before.
Okay.
As have I, and I thought, you know what, film of the week, I'm going to review it.
Now, have I seen said film?
Don't think so.
Okay, right.
The film I watched this week was 1 Hour Photo with Robin Williams.
It's brilliant. It's one of my favourite films.
Oh, well
It's
done.
absolutely brilliant.
It is brilliant.
In fact, I think in episode 1 I recommended you should watch that.
Oh, I did. Yeah, but I thought
It's
you.
absolutely
Oh, well.
brilliant.
Sorry. I thought you hadn't seen it, but it was just one on the watch list. Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, really,
Fantastic.
really.
But-
Sinister.
Very sinister.
Very sinister.
And it was unexpected. But I watched the film and I thought, you know what? Robin Williams.
He's one of the greatest actors of all time.
Exactly.
Right up there with Danny DeVito.
Honestly.
in terms of
And he
people I
don't get the
respect.
recognition.
Yeah.
Because people like, oh, you know, Leonardo DiCaprio, which is a good actor, I've got to say, and, you know, a friend of mine
I mean,
in
he's
the astral realm.
As a straight actor.
Great
And I
friend.
don't mean straight as in not gay.
I
mean,
and
as
there's not
in
wrong. There's no
comedy.
wrong with it if you are
straight
if there's
or
any
otherwise.
transgender.
We're on
or
about
something.
non-comedy roles.
Yeah.
Go on anyway.
It's
Your
like
review.
Robin Williams. You know, people say, "Oh, God, Brad Pitt, he's real good in that." Robin Williams isn't up there, but he should be, because watch this film and you will see how good of an actor he really was.
It's
Amazing.
Well-
Really, an unbelievable performance. And performance, I should say.
Yeah.
And basically, what goes on,
I'm
as
glad
you
you
know,
watched
but
that.
I'll tell the audience. There's
just a quick synopsis.
bloke who's like loves photos and that,
Yeah,
and he
yeah.
works at this 1 hour photo place in a supermarket. And this woman comes in and she's like got these cameras and that.
Not so keen on digital film, is he?
No, he's not. And he says it like ruins the
traditional
business,
photo
which
let's
it doesn't
just
aware. And let's just say nowadays you wouldn't see him with a
He
job.
prepares to expose himself or the photo.
I'm not sure what film you
chemical
watched there, but
manner.
you know.
No, expose the photos.
Well, it's
That's
like I mean, bloody hell! I think with this film, I think it's a tale of a man who appears innocent and wants to appear innocent and feels like he should appear innocent,
yes.
but ends up being sick of it all
He's a man
and just says,
who
you
has
know what?
nothing.
He doesn't.
He has nothing. He has
but when you have nothing,
friends,
it's like
no
when you
family,
have nothing.
run out.
I think the question this film asks is, when you have nothing, do you have to appear like you have something? Because that's the point. He always appears like he has.
From it, actually.
Well, you're probably not as analytical as I am.
Well,
Now,
we'll see about that.
in this film, it's like this woman, she brings a camera and she's like, oh, God, get these photos sorted for me. And it's like this family, family. And he like texts him, he's been doing them for years, you know, processing the photos. So he's seen basically their family progress and develop.
Yeah.
He's seen their kid grow up. But because he has nothing, he's got no family. And I think the idea is that he was like abused.
In a fantasy world.
He was like
his family,
I think the idea at the end was that he was abused as a child or whatever.
Yeah, well, that's a bit. I know we're not. The gloves are off now, but let's not.
Well, yeah, but I'm just. Well, that's part of the story.
Well,
pal.
it is, yeah.
Anyway, so he's a bit like lonely and that, but he gets obsessed with them and he's got like photos in his flat, like they're his family basically.
But he's developing everybody's photographs.
He is.
Isn't he?
So he's got other photos of other people.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, the thing is, I didn't actually expect you to have watched this. I didn't realise you did.
Yeah.
So it's sort of throwing a curveball in there.
Yeah,
Sure. But a great film, and what I'd say is there's a scene in it where you feel sorry for him, and you're like, the best scene I think is going through the house of which is this family that he's like got the photos of and all that.
Yeah.
And it's like he goes into the house and he's like having a look because he's seen the house through all the photos and he wants to see it for real. And he's like, oh God, you know, this is amazing. He's going in every room. He's making sure he makes the most of it. Every room. And, you know, he's sitting down. He gets a beer out the fridge. He's like loving it.
Yeah.
He's acting like he lives there. He's putting on he's putting on like the husband's clothes and that.
It's an innocent fantasy.
He sits down on a sofa. He has a beer and he puts football.
Yes.
He puts American football or football. The Americans
Not
would call it.
soccer.
No. The ball of the game of the oval.
Not
ball,
rugby.
But not rugby.
American
It's American.
football, that's right.
Anyway, so he sat there with a beer and he's watching it, and like the family start to come back. The doggos. He's like, oh God.
Yeah.
He hears the doggo. The living room's quite an open plan, so it's hard for him to go anywhere really. So he's sort of like trapped, and he's thinking, what does he do? And you think he's gonna get out of it. How is he gonna get out of it? The family turn the corner, they see him, and he's like, you know, the camera, like, it's real intense, and the camera, like, zooms in, you think, oh my God, he's been caught already. What the hell? Where is this film going?
Yeah.
And then it's like, the family go, oh, all right, Si, how's it going? I thought you'd left already.
Uncle Si.
All right, Uncle Si, I thought you'd left already. And he's like,
Because he sees
oh,
them
yeah,
as
it's
the
fine,
perfect family, doesn't he? The
I went,
perfect
I was
family.
going to leave, but, you know, football was on and I just thought I'd have a beer.
But then things take a dark turn.
And then it, like, changes, and then he's in his car, it turns out he's imagining walking into the house and all that.
Yeah.
And then, as you say, it takes a dark turn. Now, what interested me was there's a scene where he lies on the bed, right, his bed, falls asleep, and he wakes up. He's in the middle of the aisle of the supermarket he works in. Now, in this film, he has white hair, completely blonde hair.
Yeah.
In fact, I watched an interview said the director wanted to take all colour out of the hair. He wanted to make him invisible.
Yeah.
He takes all colour out of the hair. Now,
That's the whole point.
in this vision,
Yeah.
he's on down the aisle, and the camera like zooms in on him, and his eyes turn red, and blood comes down his eyes. Now,
It's a long
if you
time
think
since
back
I've
to my
seen it.
dream or vision
Oh my God. Yeah.
earlier,
Hang on a minute. Was this before or after the dream?
this was after the dream or vision.
Oh well, that's weird then. Because if it was before, then
This was after the dream or vision.
That's a bit weird.
This was a couple of days after.
That is weird.
The eyes turn red, and I'm thinking, hang on a minute, there's something going on there. I looked into it, I couldn't really find anything to connect it, but it was similar. So maybe there is something there. If someone digs deeper for me, you know, sends me an email or whatever.
Now, as I remember,
we might
isn't the
solve something.
father of the family having a bit of a...
Well, he's having an
With
entanglement with a attractive
Now, as I
female
remember,
entity.
both the mother of the family
Well,
and the entity with which he is engaged in illicit behaviour are both fairly pleasing to the eye in a refreshing way.
looking well in the way she appears.
Both of them are.
Both. And
He's spoiled for choice in a
he
way.
is, and he sort of like gets obsessed and that, and you know, it takes some dark turns, and basically in the end he's like sort of caught because he's trying to get like he's trying to make a fool out of this husband who's been cheating on his wife.
But people
I
think
don't want to go
Silence
into
is
it
a
too
bit-
much, because
It's a
it
great
took a lot of
film.
time. It's
It's
such
a
a great film, and the twists are unbelievable.
Let's
Robin
run it
Williams
through.
is one of the best actors ever.
What's interesting
Pass me
here,
the
though,
punch card,
no,
pal.
hang on, this is interesting because I've seen the film. I think it's brilliant, and I actually did pre-prepare a punch card a couple of years ago to run it through a prototype of the system.
Wow.
And I've opened the strong box, and inside of it,
Give me a pal.
there's a bit of dust on it, so blow it off.
Bloody hell.
And but it was pre-prepared a couple of years ago. So give that a good God.
Jesus Christ.
It's
There's
dusty,
dust
yeah.
on here.
Yeah.
Right,
Anyway.
feed that in. Bloody hell, I'm not sure if the supercomputer will take it.
It'll be alright. It's still basically the same system.
Right, okay.
But, well,
Let me just combobulate the...
don't press return. Just run,
Yeah.
and then you have to do the system first. Remember?
So for this film,
yeah.
at the start, I was thinking it was pretty much straight into it. I mean, it was clear at what the story was. Again, a short film, perfect length. I think it's about an hour and 25 minutes. A bit like Evil Dead was last week.
Yeah.
So again, it was a short film. It was
Good
nice.
length, yeah.
I'd say the start of it. I mean, the acting's just incredible from
It is
Robin
incredible.
Williams. It really is. I'd say
The hairy-handed genius, I call him.
28.
It's well spoken. I
Well
would say,
spoken.
yeah,
28,
I'd
so-
agree. I'd agree.
I don't think it's I don't think it's the greatest film, or maybe one of.
It's
but
one of the
it is
most
up there.
chilling, sinister films I've ever
It's
seen.
so different.
It is, yeah.
so
yeah.
different.
Yeah,
I've never
it
seen
is.
anything like it, and you
No.
won't have. If you watch this one, you will not have seen anything like it. I'd give it 28. Middle, I would. This is where it heats up.
Yeah.
30.
So that's 58.
58.
And it's well spoken because I
Now, even though I did
think
love
you've
this
summed
film,
out to a part, to be
even
honest.
though I did love this film, I did see some flaws in it. In the fact that I do think the length of the film made it harder for the director to explain the story,
So
the
you would have made
backstory,
it
the
a bit
character
longer, would you?
of Robin Williams properly. And I just don't think. I think things were a little bit rushed, and because they rushed it, it was harder. It made it harder to make clear what was going on in that character's arc. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was hard to understand what was going on. So I'd say for the ending, I would give it. It was still a good ending. It was sinister. I'd give it 24.
Right, so it was on 58 plus the 4 gives you 62, so 82.
82.
That's what the system says.
The
I'd
system
rate
says
it a bit
82.
higher myself, but it's your system. Well, it's my system. You're using
Right,
it.
okay.
It's your film.
Let's
Yeah.
get this fired up. Right.
Yeah.
What do we need? R-U-N.
R-U-N. Return. Yeah.
Let's see. Oh my god!
Oh, the system! That's the system!
Oh, yes!
82.
That's the system.
82. That is the system. It's so
Wow.
accurate, isn't it? It
Oh
really
my
is so
God.
accurate. That was well spoken, it really was. Brilliant
That's
system.
one of the best reviews of this film
Brilliant
you will
system.
ever hear.
Well, it's
Rotten
82, we'll
Tomatoes,
tell the fans it is
82%.
Yeah,
Rotten
82.
Tomatoes rates 82%. The Elbis and Elbis World Class System agrees.
Yeah.
But I think I got it more accurate.
Well,
Now,
obviously.
we actually, I can't believe it. I'm buzzing with that. I mean, wow.
Listen,
Summed up to a par. It really was summed up to a par.
I can
And
put it
you know
better.
what? I recommend watching the film. It's not the best film you'll ever see, but it's so different and so interesting. You just have to watch this film.
Yeah,
and
it's a good film.
The acting's brilliant.
So that's
It's
two
such
good
a great
recommendations
film.
this
Such a
week.
good film.
Operation Odessa and 1 Hour Photo. If you're in with an entity at any point, now when I say entity, I don't necessarily mean female. It could be a male. Or
Yeah,
it could be otherwise.
a transgender
Yeah.
or someone.
If you are with an entity and you're having a quiet night and you've got 4 hours to spare, then 1 Hour Photo, Operation Odessa, you will not go wrong and you will have a nice time to pair yeah.
Well,
wherever you may be.
That was Film
Now-
Your Week.
Yes.
That was episode 2 of season 2.
With is there any news?
Well, not really.
Well,
Other than
there is.
Elbis and Elbis are back. You're
Yeah.
loving it. Keep
Yeah.
on loving it. Keep
See you in
viewing.
a bit, I
See you
suppose.
soon. You've been Elbis and Elbis. You have been world class.
Yeah.